Welcome to my weekly show, My Top Tips. I'm in Abu Dhabi these days, and yesterday we realized that there was a weather warning for the country again. So I thought this morning, let the top tips be around that warning. And the warning is heavy rains, possibility of heavy rains in the country once again. And for that reason, I thought doing this earlier than my normal scheduled time, which is 9:30 a.m. every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. IST. But today I'm doing this from Abu Dhabi at 7:30 local time. The topic today is precautions during heavy rains. About 2 weeks ago, UAE saw heavy rains and havoc or crisis or disaster for many. And perhaps the country is still recovering from that crisis. In the meanwhile, there has been this warning today, 1st May and 2nd May, possibility of heavy rains in the country again. That's the prediction by the department. This is what is important. Cyber attacks, ransomware attacks, data leaks, financial frauds, data frauds, civil unrest, geopolitical situations, these may be relatively new. But floods, which happen because of heavy rains, are millions of years old, thousands of years old, hundreds of years, decades old. But the nature is such that this is unique. And that's what I'll spend some time to begin with on. They can behave weirdly, may result in flooding, and or along with it, lightning, and or along with storm. This doesn't happen with earthquakes. This doesn't happen with fires, for example. This is how rains, heavy rains, or flooding becomes unique. Heavy rains can bring in flooding, lightning, storm, one or all or combination of these together at the same time. Rains can impact all assets like people, building, IT, utilities, paper, information, data, supplies. All assets can be impacted. Again, individually, combination, all. To varying degrees possible. But many other disasters or crises do not impact all or may not impact all assets at the same time. This is how heavy rains become unique. It may be your equipment that may be impacted by floods. And also, the impact may also spread. Earthquake remains on Earth. Generally, no impact in the air. Fire remains on Earth. Generally, no impact on air, while smokes may create environmental hazard. But the rains may be on the land, in the water, rivers, waterbeds, bodies, seas, etc., and also the airways simultaneously. Airports get flooded, air transport is impacted, while we understand road transport, rail transport easily to be impacted. But while the rains are happening in the air travel may be impacted. This is how rains are unique and need to be treated differently, specifically. There's a lot that can be done, and have categorized these into before, during, and after. as we do in BCM and in disasters. There are three phases: before crisis, during crisis, and after crisis. So there are some precautions to be taken before the rains start. So make your home or office away from flood-prone areas if you can. Make home and office at a height. Maintain your pipes very well. This is a regular maintenance. In and outlet, both should be good. Prepare an emergency kit, which would have basic supplies, including water, dry ration, flashlights, batteries, important documents, a reasonable amount of money, medicines, contacts, etc. A good practice I can share from home also. So these points mostly for organizations, but are equally applicable at home also. BCM at home, disaster management, crisis management at home. My wife, having picked up few points from me about 10 years ago, has created this emergency kit, her battle box at home. A small pouch bag, some important documents, some jewelry, some cash. If I need to run due to disaster, I will pick up this bag minimum. Can be done at home also, but in offices, there's a lot more to be done. We see so many contents to be there in the battle box, the grab bag, emergency kit, different terms being used in different countries. Appoint trained for floor marshals. They should know if evacuation is to be done, how it should be done, who should be doing what. Have written and tested instructions, procedures handy. So your business continuity plan or emergency management plan or crisis management plan must be ready before the incident, disaster, or crisis. So before the rains. Ready means written, reviewed, approved, and tested at least this much. But, and this is the focus of today, tomorrow for UAE. If it happens, so during the disaster, when you receive warning of heavy rains, which happened yesterday, check your pipes, which we had been maintaining. Stay informed. Latest weather forecast and warnings. When we say informed or stay informed, the good practice is to take it from the reliable source. Do not believe the WhatsApp University and Google Universities, etc. Pay attention to local news and emergency broadcasts. Check the emergency kit that you had prepared. So batteries, food, and medicines must be up to date. So check for their expiry dates. If you have a plan, BC plan or emergency management plan, crisis management plan in your emergency kit, then check that also that it's the current version. Protect your property. You have received a warning. There may be a storm also. So fasten loose items, block doors and windows, and avoid flood waters. When it happens, which is a possibility in the UAE today and tomorrow, 1st May and 2nd May, stay informed once again and take it from the reliable source always. Pay attention to local news and emergency broadcasts. Be aware of helplines, local, national. If you need, please call for help. Evacuate if instructed immediately. So during flood, most likely you are supposed to stay inside, but depending upon the situation, the emergency services may ask you to evacuate. Your office emergency program may ask you to evacuate, then evacuate. Please always do as directed. Turn off utilities like gas, water, and electricity only if it's safe. And then do not use those until it is safe once again. Eat and drink healthy. Drink boiled water if possible. Be aware of spreading diseases. This is once again unique about floods, heavy rains. The earthquake may not have spread of diseases. The fire may not have spread of diseases. So many other cyber attacks, ransomware attacks, data leakage, etc., may not have any disease compared to diseases being spread during flooding because of heavy rains. So that becomes very important point. Help others, once again, only if you can. More, do not panic because that doesn't help at all in any way. Don't ignore evacuation orders. I said this earlier also. Do as directed. If asked to stay in, stay in. If you're asked to evacuate, please do that. Don't drive through floodwaters. Do not venture out unnecessarily. Avoid going out in the waters if you can. Don't touch electrical equipment. Don't use gas appliances. Don't use flood water. Don't return until asked to or permitted. This is what we need to believe in. This is what we need to do. Don't speak to media unless you are the official spokesperson. Very important. Don't believe in and don't spread rumors. We all are human beings and we have a tendency to talk or speak, but please apply self control. Don't believe and don't spread rumors and don't speak to media if you are not the official spokesperson. There's a lot that needs to be, should be done even after the race. So reconcile. What happened? What was the impact on you? In official space, please maintain a record, formal record. What was the loss in terms of humans being sick, missing, dead, in terms of other assets, property loss, in terms of penalties, in terms of extra expenses that you might have made. This must be maintained. In BCM terms, then we say that incident log needs to contain few more details. What happened, who did what, with date and time, what went well, what could be done better next time if we face the same challenge. Clean debris if around, record losses, as I was saying. Check structures before re-entering, reusing. Most likely authorities would have done that, but a physical inspection by eyes can be done by you also. Do not touch, remove any items if insurance is to be claimed. This is a very important point. We have a tendency of going close to our belongings and attempting to collect, recollect, check, etc. But please do not touch or remove if an insurance is to be claimed and claim insurances if due. Closing the session with a summary quickly about the heavy rains. Precautions during or against or about heavy rains. Stay informed, and that is within quotes, bold, beautiful, italics from a reliable source. Do as directed. Avoid going out if you can. Drive carefully if you need to. Stock emergency supplies, food, water, medicines, but avoid stockpiling. Once again, as human beings, individuals as well as organizations may have this tendency of stockpiling. Please look at your requirements and only keep that much. And always, because these are perishable items, food, water, and medicines, check for the expiry date. Move to the upper floors if the area is flooded or gets flooded. Get the information from the right source. Once again, as human beings, we may have a tendency of believing our family members, friends, colleagues. Please do not do that. Official source, official news agency of the nation, of the country, of the city, your company, whatever information comes from your company, Believe only that is correct. Do not believe and do not spread rumors. Help others only if you can, assuring your safety first. And do not interact with media if you are not the official spokesperson of your company. If you have any questions about this event or about resilience, please feel free to write to me. I'll be happy to respond. This is your host, Daman Dev Sood, logging off from my weekly show, My Top Tips, every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. IST. Today, being in Abu Dhabi and being an important day, possible warning for heavy rains, I decided to do this early. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Till that time, stay safe. Take care. Bye bye.